G'day, it's Ash from Visionline Fireplaces Australia, and I'm here with Inge from Visionline Fireplaces in Norway, and we are on site in Oslo, Norway to do a walkthrough of the Visionline safety vent pipe system. The construction is very similar between Norway and Australia, but as homes become more energy efficient in Australia, we start to lean towards the type of closed envelope construction we see here in Norway. So we thought it's a great opportunity to join up with our friends from Visionline in Norway and do a walkthrough of a construction site and see the big differences and why safety vent is so important. Inge, thanks for having us here in Norway. Looking forward to getting stuck into it and seeing those points of difference.
My pleasure.
So looking at here, Inge, we've got the starter box, which is obviously your support for the flue system itself. Commonly more used in Australia would be the brace, but certainly when we start to move towards this type of closed envelope construction, then we can see the starter box coming into play. What can you tell us about the starter box and that bracket?
This box can carry about 50 meters of pipe.
Okay.
Straight up and
15 meters?
Yeah, correct, yeah. So that's done according to a test, EU test, EN test.
Okay. Yeah, well, looking at the way that this is done here is that we're actually roughing in the safety vent well before the stovepipe or the unit goes in. So looking at the construction site that we're at here at the moment, we've got a lot of scaffold around the outside of us here, so we can get up on the roof and do what we're doing today, and then we're not stopping the progress of the building site. They can take down their scaffold and we're good to go to be able to put that stove in at a later date.
That is absolutely correct. Also, this is the only way you can do it where you can have it sealed off completely to the environment at this stage of the building. If you had a roof on here, the roof was finished, that would not be possible. This is, this is more or less the only way you can do it.
So this insulation that we've got around the outside here and taping, is this to do with air tightness for passive home?
No, this is inside the envelope, so this is purely for sound and for water since it's inside the bathroom.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Hopefully it does.
So Inge, the type of construction that we see in Norway here looks very similar to Australia, where we have timber or stick construction around the outside. We know that there's a clearance that's required from the pipe itself, but what extra benefits do we have here with these boxes here?
It maintains clearances, and we make sure that we have added safety built into the system. We don't want marginal security, we do want added.
So that would be where the name safety vent comes from?
That is absolutely correct, Ashley.
Inge, you can see that the transition piece is dropped through the ceiling here, but there's some additional bracing that's been put in there. Can you explain why that's been done?
This is purely for installation purposes, so that one person can install the box.
Okay, so once that's secured in place, then those braces are removed and then that's your ceiling height there.
That's absolutely correct.
Yeah, to install with one person is amazing. That makes the system so much easier, especially for trades.
Yeah, and it's cost efficient.
Mm-hmm. You can see here, Inge, that we're packing the actual cavity itself with the rock wool. What's the reasoning behind that?
It is both thermal insulation, but also to prevent mold.
That's really important.
It is really important.
So with insulated pipe, you see sometimes condensation build up there, but doing this and installing it correctly and having that twin wall as well helps a lot.
Yes, that is correct, but still towards building materials, and since it's so airtight, you should use insulation to prevent mold.
Mm-hmm. So just looking at the rain cap that you've got here, so a little bit different to what we use in Australia for safety vent, and when that we use the high wing cap on top versus what you've got here, but certainly the principle's still the same here, that we've got the exhaust here, and then this big band underneath here, which is our intake underneath there. Why have we got that big band there? Why is the design of that important?
Because of wind and water.
Yeah.
You will have a small turbulence here that can suck in the water, and that's why we have this.
So it's separating also from your smoke, so the fire's not breathing in its smoke. So pretty similar to like what you'd see from a gas balanced flue fireplace.
Very similar.
Yeah. So one of the really unique designs that we love in Australia, it's just not seen, is the twist lock of the flue itself. So looking at it going on here, we're just pretty much putting it into place and then locking it shut. What I've noticed is the guys that are installing on site here, when they're locking that, they're not putting any screws or banding it shut. Is there some sort of test that's been done to be able to do it that way?
Yeah. You do it together with the wind load test and the extension test. So it's like a pull-out test.
And then a compression test
and then a compression test, yes.
Yeah, so that's
pretty intense.
Yeah, absolutely. So I can see also too that being handy for installers, that you're not carrying multiple things up onto the roof, you've only got one section of pipe and twist locking it away.
No.
One other thing that I can see an advantage with having a twist lock system on there is that when the stovepipe and chimney does need to be cleaned, that as opposed to going all the way to the top of the cap, which is what you'd need to do on a traditional Australian flue system to release the cap, we can be at this height here, which is a working height, untwist, and then pull the entire system off and drop a brush down there and clean. That's absolutely fantastic for working safety of cleaning your fireplace.
Yep.
So we can see the transition section coming through here, and we're ready to go to put some Visionline stovepipe into the room and put the fireplace in. Looking at the Visionline stovepipe flue, very similar looking to what we would consider to be a solid default flue kit in Australia. Would that be a correct assumption?
Well, there's a big difference here. This is a triple skin, so you have more mass and that will give you more draft.
Okay, so that's handy to be able to get the fire started and for the efficiency of the fire itself. So in a typical Australian default flue kit, you're looking at a stainless steel inner and a galvanised outer with the same type of construction we've got here?
This would be a 316L inner and a 304 outer, powder coated.
Okay, so powder coated, great for obviously if we're installing down near the water and near the sea, but also two full stainless steel construction's great as well in that respect.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
You also have a high temp powder, so it will not discolor.
Yep, cool. Okay, Inge, so we can see that the safety vent pipes pass through the floor here, and then we've got our final penetration going through the roof there. You can see just there's a lot of taping and sealing that's going on through there. How important is that in this type of installation?
It is very important to make sure that there is no air going in and out of the house. This is absolutely crucial to make sure that we meet all codes in Norway. All houses in Norway are pressure tested before we add on insulation.
So looking at what we've got here, we're actually passing through the envelope to outside.
That is absolutely correct. We invest a lot of time and money on making sure that this house is airtight.
You can certainly see that.
Thank you, Ashley.
So that's a wrap of our Visionline safety vent flue system. Thanks for having us here in Norway, Inge.
Oh, that's my pleasure.
Excellent. And if you'd like any more information, you can go to our website, which is www.visionlinefire.com.au. Thanks a lot.